Friends, there's an issue that is raising its heads in Ghana, and the two issues are connected. But I will talk about one, and later in another video with you, I'll talk about the others. And what I want to talk about has to do with two videos I watched. One by Mahmoud Baumia and the other one by John Dramani Mahama. And the reason why I want to talk about these two, watching the video, is that I also recently heard a man called Duncan-Williams in Ghana. And that man has to do with the church. And that drew my attention that there's something very important Ghanaians must be aware of, because there's a build-up to election and these things are raising their heads. And we need to be very, very vigilant. Mahmoud Baumia was addressing the issue of taxation and church. And John Dramani Mahama also came to talk about taxation and church. And hearing Duncan-Williams talking very strongly, clearly political, reminding us about the danger before us relating to the upcoming election, which is a subject I'll talk about and my version of the solution. I believe at this point in time we should ask ourselves, why are the politicians now being forced one way or the other to establish their clear position on the issue of the church and taxation? Because the mosque, we all know they don't make anything. Only beggars go there. So they get just nothing. But the church is very, very big business in Ghana. In fact, on hearing that, Mama was even talking about taking the taxpayers' money and giving it to the church. And he mentioned Ahmadiyya, if you remember very well, that they could go into farming, they could do this, they could do that, they could do that. But let us ask ourselves one important question. What is a church? What is a mosque? A church and a mosque, they are what we call non-governmental organization. They are actually charity organization. They are formed by people who share the same value. We're talking about religious and superstitious value. So they are religiously superstitious people who have come together to promote their own conception of value. And everywhere in the world, everybody believe freedom of religion and the right of people to worship is all about making a country a better place. So they are not set up to do business. They are non-profit making organization. You have to underline that. They are social group, and the religion goes with it. So members coming together. And because of this nature of this body that everybody believe they are there to do good, we agree to exempt them from taxation, because they are not there to do business. The purpose of the church is to do what is good. Now, when you have this issue, take a good case. They are exempted from taxation. It's like John Dramani Mahama, who was using his own self. He said, in my house, I have people who come to work for me, but I have been exempted from paying tax. So John Dramani Mahama cannot buy anything as a former president of Ghana, buy the constitution or do anything in terms of business. He's not there to do business, so he's not expected to be paying tax. Good. And if he does any business, it shouldn't be any serious thing that the society will feel he's making exceptional money. So the fact that we say the church must not be paying tax. What we are saying here is that the church and the owner of the church, so the owner of the church is doing charity in the church. It's not any money. However, every money the church make, it must be recorded. And if what the church is doing is of value to the state, we can even give them something that, well done. Every money the church make is expected of the church to put the money back into promoting the welfare of its citizens. That is all what it is. Back into the business. Now, your priest is not expected to be on salary because it can be part-time job. However, if the church has become so grounded, or the nature of the worship, for example, a Muslim an imam who will lead prayer for 5 times a day, you don't expect that imam to also be going to some office somewhere to go and make money or to go and sell something. No. So imam will be put on salary if the mosque can afford. It's the same thing with the pastor. So that means, because the imam is a full-time job, the pastor is a full-time job, and the charity organization is working and can afford it, that imam, not the church itself, the imam will be put on salary, and on his salary, like everyone else, he pay tax. Like the owner of Tesla, like everyone else, he will be paying tax. However, he will be enjoying certain privileges, because if he's going out and the car of the church is there, he will drive in it. Can you see? However, if the church decide to run a school, that school will be considered as charity. So it will be non-profit making school. Every money the church makes, the money goes back into from the school or transportation or anything they want to do. They are free and licensed to work. When they employ a driver, the driver must be a full-time driver, unless you want to be moving church members around, which is not a full-time job, and so you can just give him some token because he's not doing a full-time job. But if the church has employed a professional driver with a family, he must be paid his salary, and on that he pay tax. Can you see? The church itself is not the one that is not paying tax, because it plow back all its money for the welfare of its members. Now we're having churches running universities, they are running this, they are running that, they are running farms and so on. Can you see? When you are running a farm, the farm of the church will be exempted from paying tax if the income she's making is going to the welfare of the members of the church. However, if the church is even having directors, you don't pay them salary, you just give them some token for their work. Everything in the church must be charity. Now, in Britain, this is what they do to all the churches. And most of the so-called evangelical African sole proprietorship church that we are having now, profit-making businesses, they are now running away from the developed countries, Europe and America, to go and relocate themselves on the African continent. And they are in Ghana, Nigeria, and so on. And the competition, they are involved in serious business. They even put money in shares. They even run banks. And they want to hide behind the church and say they won't pay tax. See, our voice must be strong. If you are doing a business, the church is in the business. The church is supposed to be charitable. If you feel there's a business you can do, you raise your capital to do it. That is your church. Your church is not supposed to go into business. But if there's a business, for example, I, Kofi Ali, have an NGO, right? I run my ECOWAS Citizens' Right Advocate. And I then, within my organization, we have a van. The van is lying down, not doing anything. There are passengers on the street. We're able to have our license and everything. And we got a driver to run the car and be using it to be picking people up and down. We make profit. When we make profit, it goes back to the business. It's not the owner's money. It's the business, is the organization money for activities of. There's nothing wrong with that. We can invest our money if there's opportunity. But if we put people to work, everything, salary, and we pay tax, and we need to have record on everything on how we spend our money, because the taxman need to know where every money goes to, even when we